Hi, my name is Sue Holbert, and this is my presentation of my final project, the Tide Pod Challenge, a case for managing risk. So back in 2011, Tide Pods first entered the $49 billion laundry detergent market. And if you haven't seen these pods before, they're very innovative. They include laundry detergent, soap, a stain fighter, as well as a color guard. But since 2011, Procter & Gamble has had to deal with two crises involving these nifty little pods. Ironically, the pods still remain in the marketplace, so I thought it would be very interesting to analyze how Procter & Gamble managed both of these crises and leveraged ethical decision making. And I used Potter's Box model to analyze their efforts. So if you haven't heard of Procter & Gamble, I'm sure you've heard of many of their household brands: Charmin, Pampers, Gillette, Old Spice. And Tide laundry detergent has been around since 1946. But a new innovation like these pods is really exciting for a company and can bring a lot of value to their bottom line. Estimates show that just in 2017, laundry detergent pods have brought Procter & Gamble $1.5 billion, and Tide and another company now both own 80% of the laundry pod market. So the two different crises that Procter & Gamble had to deal with involved small children and the elderly first, and then most recently, teenagers who were posting videos and using the hashtag the Tide Pod Challenge. Back in 2015, because of the young children and the elderly, Consumer Reports began no longer recommending detergent packets and urged the adoption of tougher safety measures. So really, Procter & Gamble was managing risk with their product. And I thought it would also be very interesting to better understand if a company like Procter & Gamble, who has their own ethical code, if that helped them prevent unethical behavior and really reinforce and represent the firm's own ethical values and beliefs when it came to a crisis. And so we'll look at Potter's Box and kind of evaluate how they did. My research methods included internet searches and academic research. I cited 26 different references, and I used national media sources as well as academic references, including journal articles and textbooks. I also accessed press releases from government agencies, the industries, and non-government agencies, as well as social media posts, videos, and blogs. So as we look at Potter's Box model, you'll see that there's 4 different boxes that are part of this model. And so in box 1, it's really about defining the situation. And Procter & Gamble seemed to really have their arms around the situation. In both cases, the bottom line, children were being put in harm's way, and a household cleaning product was being handled outside its intended use. In box number 2, we look at defining values, and Procter & Gamble has their own set of values that they've outlined on their website, and I could see trust, integrity, good corporate citizens, transparency, and partnership are values that appeared to be used. Same with principles. These are 3 principles that I found on Procter & Gamble's website, and it really spoke to me, at least, how they handled both of these crises. We always try to do the right thing. We operate within the letter and spirit of the law. We act like owners, treating the company's assets as if they're our own. And then finally, box 4 encourages to choose stakeholders. And I felt Procter & Gamble really did a good job of keeping their key stakeholders in mind: consumers, stockholders, NGOs, government agencies, as well as the media. So really, Procter & Gamble, in my opinion, provides a great case study in ethical decision making. They wasted very little time with both situations before engaging their key stakeholders. They kept those stakeholders in mind, and they executed remedies accordingly. So specific to the concerns with small children and the elderly gaining access to these pods, Tide has reworked their packaging. They put a Child Guard zipper on packaging now. There's lots of education information and warnings on the product, and the pods are no longer visible on the outside of the package. When we look at how they handled the teenagers and the YouTube postings, Procter & Gamble really leveraged their key partners. P&G posted their own YouTube video using an NFL role model who told kids, no, 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 it's not cool to put these in your mouths. YouTube actually reacted as well, and they removed flagged videos, which violated their online policies. And Procter & Gamble's own CEO spoke frankly with parents through a blog post, encouraging them to have a conversation with their children and to tell them that, putting these in your mouth, it's not funny, it's not laughing matter, it can be very dangerous. So in conclusion, Procter & Gamble, in my opinion, had an organized plan and appeared to execute it in line with their code of ethics. I could see several principles which are at the heart of responsible public relation and risk communication advocacy at work, and I felt their efforts really aligned with the ethical guideposts of the 21st century. And finally, I believe this case study and their actions do reinforce what empirical research has shown, and that is the positive correlation between a company that has their own ethics statement and their ethical behavior in the marketplace. So I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.